24/7 denk ich immer noch an dich. Heute bist du nicht mehr da, jetzt ist das Rampenlicht. Tausende von Narben hab ich nun in meinem Gesicht. Farbe in der Haut, ja diesen Schmerz, den hab nur ich.
I think we are different. Our love was so magnificent. I tried so hard to know as far I could ever go. I think I broke myself. I think I went through hell. 'Cause I tried our love. Your love was way above.
Du bist nicht mehr da und ich will, dass du weißt, ja die Liebe am Arsch und die Herzen sind kalt. Ja, ich bin heute allein und doch sag ich dir eins, gib das hier jetzt auf, denn wir sind nicht mehr zwei. Hab mich grad verliebt und doch war ich dir fern. Gib's mir einen Hieb und ich sehe einen Stern. Es brennt noch das Licht, doch es ist weit entfernt. Die Liebe vergeht, doch ich fühle den Schmerz. Ich will dich nie mehr sehen, ja, ich werde es nie verstehen. Warum willst du von mir gehen? Es kann dich nicht alles um mich drehen.
We spent our days on the coast of something beautiful. We got pulled into the tide of something real. But somehow I lost you on the way. I assumed you left me behind. days and sleepless nights, so tired of it. I can't get you off my mind, can't forget it. Now I know what I've got to do is find my way back to you. Hey, why did it take us so long? Hey, while I was dancing on my own. Hey, and now my prayers been answered in my darkest time. 'Cause now I found you. Now I found you. Hey, I was waiting on the day you would come back to me, hoping that I didn't burn a bridge I couldn't see. And now that you're by my side again, I'll never leave you behind. Lifeless days and sleepless nights, so tired of it. I can't get you off my mind, can't forget it. Now I know what I've got to do is find my way back to you. Hey, why did it take us so long? Hey, while I was dancing on my own. Hey, and now my prayers been answered in my darkest time. 'Cause now I found you.
So, hey there, guys. I hope you are watching, and we are already ready to start going here. Like, Liren has already kicked off today with some good prep, I guess. I can see some moves flying in the board. I think it's gone with e4 here, e4, e5. It is an Italian. It started off as an Italian, but some hybrid variations with knight coming to c3 here. So, where's my cam? Oh, you guys can see me? Okay, so I think now, I think I'm visible. Am I? Yep. So I hope you guys are doing great today. And there goes a4. So let's quickly just see what just happened. So white Ding started with one e4 here, and his opponent went e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, the typical Italian here. And Gukesh decided to go for the Gyuko piano, or you could call it Jokyo piano, different ways people call it. And at this point, Ding went for d3, very common, knight f6, and even knight c3 here. And I think Ding is pretty much ready for today, because if you see the time control here, rather than yesterday where Ding went all in, like used up his time for the good, like he went on to win yesterday with all that time consumed there. But now a6, a4. So both players, I guess, they want to preserve their bishops, right? You don't want to give this guy up. The Italian bishop, they call this guy. So Ding has played a4 here. So let's see what Gukesh comes up with. The normal ideas are just castling for black, castling d6, and even some h6 ideas just to avoid bishop g5, some prophylaxis just so that bishop g5 doesn't come on the board. But nonetheless, a very quick start. Gukesh might be pressing today, but at the same time, with the black pieces, he might be also happy with the draw, because of the fact that with the loss yesterday, you need to recover from it, right? It's not that the very next day you can go and just take down your opponent. That is not very easy, guys. So I don't know what mindset is Gukesh coming in today with, but whatever it is, I hope we get an exciting game just like yesterday. Okay, so I guess Gukesh is just taking his time today. No rush, just recollecting all the prep he had before coming all in. And I think that's good. Like, Ding yesterday clearly showed why it was very important to use the time early on in the game. And he really used his prep for his good. So I think Gukesh is kind of doing the same thing here. He's just recollecting all the variations, just recollecting what needs to be done for this, and what maybe are the lines that gives him the best chances. Uh, so give me 1 minute. Okay, so that is what is happening at the moment. So pawn to a4 has happened, and let's go. Okay, Gukesh goes with pawn d6 here, and white just castles. White castled immediately. Ding seems to be pretty much on his way. Like he knows what is happening right now today, so he just goes castling right. So Gukesh, I guess, is again recollecting, as we mentioned, all his plans in this position. Some of the major ideas, again, guys, is that black can just castle here. White can he can also play at 6 at this moment, which can stop bishop to g5, and at the same time, some interesting ideas there. Bishop g4 can also be a plan here, but I don't think that might really hurt Ding at this moment, because if you go with something like bishop g4, which makes sense, they just go with the move h3, kick the bishop back, and now this knight just comes in. This is an interesting fight here because as you go knight d5 here, you might be thinking, okay, what about this? You put more pressure, right? But then g4 is actually possible. And like sacrifices like this, we would have seen all of this so early in chess. Like when we start off chess, we see, what about the sacrifice? If you take bishop takes, is the knight gone? No, there's an in-between move, guys. You just play knight takes d4. And you see this? It's not working. White is clearly better. So I know some of you might have these kind of questions, like what would happen if something like this happens. So yep, that's the point. If they play knight d4 here, putting pressure here, it's just g4. So I don't think Gukesh is going for bishop g4 immediately. It would be interesting to see it though. I think he would stop bishop g5 first with something like h6. That looks more sensible here. Or he would just castle and just continue from there. Hey launchers, so yeah, as of your question of the footage, as of now, it's all good. So I think we will continue with it. So coming back to the position, guys. So this is where we are at the moment. Ding has castled, and today Ding is not taking any much of his time. He's like totally ready for what is happening today. So he has gone with castling. You can see Ding Liren at 158, while today it's Gukesh who is at 152, which is interesting. But I think Gukesh definitely went back yesterday to the drawing boards and just definitely understood what has happened. So he's just making sure that his prep is on point today. And today is a very crucial game for him. Like, I don't think there is no space for error for Gukesh today. Because Ding, with the confidence he gained from last game, he's in today uh, for a good game. So both players have developed. Ding has castled. The king has been castled. I think Gukesh is just waiting, just preparing, or he's just deciding between two moves whether h6 is interesting or whether castling is interesting. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the two moves he is deciding from. So let's see what happens with that. But as of now, he's taking his time. He's not in a rush. He wants to use his time today and make sure it happens. Just for someone who's new, who wants to know what would happen at some point where if someone plays bishop g4 here. I'm very sure that at some level of chess, this is a very common move you guys play, right? Like, you just want to pin the knight, right? And when they play h3, what do? You keep the pin. You'll say that, okay, I'll stick to bishop h5. I'll keep the pin here. And now what actually happens, guys? White will go knight d5. The reason is, you might be thinking, what about this? I have learned to put pressure on the pin piece. Absolutely, we have all learned that, right? But the clear problem here is that when you play knight d4, you might think he has to expose with g4. And I've seen a lot of people ask me like, wow, why would you play that? I'll just sacrifice my knight and I will play knight takes g4. If you take me back, bishop takes, and this looks amazing for me. Even the bar thinks the same, right? But there's something we are missing in between. The moment they take knight g4, you don't take it back. What you do is you play knight takes d4 here. And now what happens, guys, is that you see this pin, right? This is a problem for black, actually. Now what happens is you just simply get a piece. He takes it, you take it back. I don't see any plans here. If he goes back here, that's even more easier. You take it with a check, he takes back, the bishop is gone, everything is gone, and you have lost. So I think that's a quick trick that you can use on your opponents someday, but not a trick that we will see in a world championship for sure. So, yep. Anyways, coming back to the position we have, Liren has castled. He's at 158, pretty much in his prep, or rather completely in his prep. Just waiting for Gukesh to make his move. So what do you guys think? I think today Gukesh might be a bit more careful in a way that I don't see an aggressive game today. I feel it will be much more safer. And h6 was played. Very simple idea. He just wants to stop bishop g5 here. This is called a prophylaxis. You stop your opponent's plan even before he does it. So white goes with the move bishop to e3 here. That is again a very interesting plan. Just trading off this very strong bishop from black, right? And even if they take it, you take it back. You might think these are doubled pawns here. Not this one, these two. But it's absolutely okay. You have a great open file. And the pawns are looking towards the center of the board. That makes sense, right? Cool. So it is starting with an Italian today, and let us see where the prep is going. And Gukesh immediately responds with bishop e6. Things look very symmetrical, right? Look at this position. Everything looks same. Both players have just played the same moves here. Okay, a5 from Ding. He's trying to cramp this queen side. He says, okay, I'm just gonna make sure your pawns are just stuck and gain some space for himself. The plans are still a bit unknown, but a4 seems a bit dubious. a5, sorry, at this point. Seems a bit dubious. Even that's what, even if you look at the bar on the right, that what the computer thinks too. Is like, why did he play a5 here? Right? But definitely Ding is still in his prep. You can see it from his time control. He's playing quick. He's ready for this today. And I don't think he is he's losing out here today. So let's see where this game goes. a5 was played. Let's see if Gukesh responds very quickly, showing Ding that I'm also in my prep. a5 doesn't surprise me. But let's see that. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, you guys can let me know what you think about the game. Who do you think is going to win this game? Or what are the results that you expect to see today? That would be great. I know there's a lot of people out there who's cheering for Gukesh, but yesterday's game was quite a roller coaster by Ding. A positional masterpiece, actually, at the World Championship. He just did not give Gukesh a chance. So are we going to see the very same Ding Liren today, or is it going to be a bit different? Or is Ding going to come back and just... I mean, is Gukesh just going to make a big comeback? And you know what, guys? Like, it's been more than 10 years ago when one chess player has lost the first round in a World Championship. And it happened back in 2000s, the beginning of 2000s, when, I mean 2010-11 part, where Vishy Anand was playing against Topalov, and Anand lost the first game, but then went on to beat Topalov. So if that's what's gonna happen here, then I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be very happy because Gukesh would take home the world championship then. But as of now, Liren is up a point. He's up confidence, and he's up in time, where he has 157, and Gukesh has 1 hour 47 on his clock. So do let me know any questions you guys have. I'm just super happy to let you know what is happening in the game, as far as I know, because I'm an audience just like you. But this is interesting. The game is very well like kept in, with Ding leading the tournament 1 game down. We have 13 more games, and that is a lot of games, right? That's a lot of games to be played. So yep, let's let's see how things goes here. And Gukesh definitely is a good fighter, and as every other top players have told earlier, Gukesh is exceptional in his calculation. So making a comeback is not something hard for him. And he has had a similar loss in Toronto too. Like when he was playing against Alireza Ferosha, the time trouble creeped in and he had a loss, but then he went on to win the candidates. So if you look at that way, Gukesh is all in his zone. He has no problem. And I even heard in the press conference yesterday where he was saying that it is still a long game and he is excited, looking forward. And I think this really, what do you say, just boosts his morale and just makes him to give his 100% to make a comeback. So looking good as of now, but Gukesh is trying to recollect what a5 can do to his position, because Ding just, I think a5 was not one of the first options in this position, not in the top 3 options in this position, but Ding went for a5 here. It could be a preparation by his team, trying to dislodge Gukesh from his prep. If so, good for Ding, because Gukesh is thinking. But I hope it's recollecting actually. Gukesh is just recollecting his prep here. And I know there's a lot of you guys who wants to see this World Championship go even Stevens again. So here we go, guys. So if you ask me some of the best options here for Gukesh right now, one would be just to trade this bishop off, which, as I told you earlier, we call it the Italian bishop. Not we, maybe a lot of people call it. Bishop takes c4 is an option here, where he can either take back Ding or he can just copy him. They're just copying each other. So you take it, he takes it. Like, let's look at this one. Bishop takes d3. Right now, you can't take this because that's a blunder. Because bishop takes f1, there is no rook here to take. That is a very funny position, because if you guys just trade off each other and think that I'm just going to repeat what you do. So look at this here. Bishop takes c4, bishop takes c5, bishop takes d3, bishop takes d6, bishop takes f1, and all of a sudden, whoa, 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 where is that rook? It's not there. So you will be losing. So don't do that. So he will just take back with the queen. He takes back, and I don't think Ding wants to go into such a position, giving up a pawn right now, even though it's not that bad, but I don't think he's going to go into such positions here. Why should he? So when Gukesh takes on c4, I guess maybe the option could be d takes c4 here and just take the pawn. And this trade, okay, the pawn structures looks a bit interesting here, but as I told you guys, there's an open rook file. These pawns are still controlling central squares, so this is okay, even though the structure is not looking that great. They are controlling very important squares. If it was a double pawn somewhere else, maybe it would have been weak. But as of now, not that weak. This is not so weak. So I feel this looks quite interesting here. So we are here at the moment, a5. Gukesh is still recollecting his options. He's still thinking what are the best options for him here. So do let me know what you guys think, what you guys feel is going to come up as the next best move here. And I would love to hear that. I would love to see what is some other point of views here rather than just me giving out my point of views. So bishop takes c4 is an interesting variation, guys. Yeah, there you go. Bishop takes c4 on the board. Now this is really interesting. I'm really looking forward to see whether Ding is going to play bishop c5, which by sacrificing a pawn, that is, or is he just going to play the very normal looking d takes c4. So he has two options here. But as of now, I think Gukesh is very comfortable in this game. He is quite in his zone. Whatever is happening, he's well prepared for it. And let's see where this takes this game. I think Ding is always looking for a very solid position here to play. That's his strength. He's very good at positional chess. And yeah, there you go. D takes c4. I think Ding doesn't want any complications with bishop takes c5. So that was quite logical and sensible. Now it's up to Gukesh to make the decision. What is he going to do with his bishop? Is he going to keep it on c5? Is he going to take on e3? Or is he even going to play bishop to b4? This is an interesting move. You can even make a triple pawn here. Or the a5 pawn might just be history. So this is quite an interesting move because most commonly people play knight d5 here, but I'm just excited to see what about all these pawns here. Knight takes e4 is happening. There is bishop takes a5. I think bishop takes a5 doesn't work actually. That looks really bad because of this whole bishop being offside. It's just out of the game, right? It's not actually activating. I mean, not taking part in this game. These pieces are all good. You can even have a plan like knight h4, knight f5. Look at this square, and I feel this bishop is a bit misplaced. So I'm really looking forward to what Gukesh will play here after d takes c4. Bishop b4 is very interesting and tempting, but at the same time, bishop takes e3 could also be an option. These are two major moves here. Either refuse the trade or just take the trade and give Ding a position to play with. But of course, these double pawns are controlling these squares, so the knights can't jump in. Definitely what Ding would be trying to do is just go knight h4, knight to f5. This would be his plan for sure. So these are some of the major ideas in these kind of positions. But let's see. And Gukesh is yet to castle. I think he will also castle short after that. So we go back, and this is where we are at the live board at the moment. Oops, not there. That's definitely not where we are. This is where we are. So Gukesh still taking his time. He doesn't want to make that mistake yesterday. But today it's Ding who's using his prep very well. Because yesterday it was Gukesh who had a huge time lead, almost an hour on the clock, but then went on to scramble at the middle game. But here today he's like, I'm not gonna drop any of this today. No dropping here. And he has already got quite a decent position. You guys could see on the bar like 0.2, right? It might seems nothing actually. Actually, it is nothing on practical chess when compared to the analysis, but a top level chess at a world championship game, it could be something, guys. These minute advantages are something that these players and their teams might have worked upon. So definitely something to look forward here. Just to see how Gukesh takes this ahead from here. So quite an interesting position. Ding already has a double pawn on the c file, but it's not a big issue. Why? Because it's a group of pawns. Like they're all together, right? They're not like isolated. So when they're isolated, they're very weak. When they're not, it's okay. They're fine. They're like happy. They'll be like, we can manage this, right? We are a team together. But here, if you take it, these are isolated. These are isolated double pawns, but as I told you earlier, they control a lot of important squares, so it's okay. And they give a very important open f file. So I think that makes a lot of sense. So here we are waiting for Gukesh to come up with his next move. So what we are guessing here, guys, or what could be the moves is bishop. Oops, bishop doesn't move like that. The bishop to b4, or it could be bishop takes e3. I don't see any other natural option. Castling could be one, but castling, I don't know, right? It's very equal after that. Takes, takes. You could even trade the queens if you want, or it seems quite good. Like queen e2 is an option. Queen takes queen, I feel is quite fine. He can just take it back. And a draw today might be actually fine for Ding because he's just happy with the result he has yesterday. So we go back to where we are. So castling is definitely an option, but I don't think Gukesh is considering that at all because he just wants maybe to, what do you say, just take the bishop or just go bishop to b4. This is what I feel. Hi, Leo. I'm glad a lot of you guys are back. I can see 20, more than 20 people watching at the moment. So you guys can ask anything you guys want to ask, and I will try to let you know what is happening to the best that I can. Okay, as I told you guys, like this is very high level chess. And what am I trying to do is that I'm just trying to break this down as easy as possible. Like, just like how a normal person thinks, how you guys would love to know about this rather than going too deep, just trying to keep it easy. Okay. So, anyways, this is the position we have at the moment. It is Gukesh to play. Ding Liren has not used much of his time, which is good for the world champion. He has 156 here. Okay, we have got some moves, and castling has been played. That was really not expected. Takes, takes, and b3. Okay, so now things are slowly sliding back for the world champ. He's trying to just have a good control here, like making sure his pawn structure looks pretty good. d5 square, this is where he might be aiming at. But the issue is, even though you aim at it, c6 can come at some point and kick you away from there. But castling, I don't know. I really didn't expect that. This could be something Ding would be very happy with. Or maybe I have a feeling we are in for a not so long game. We might be in for a very short game today. So he goes b3 here. I think the plans would be, I don't know if Gukesh would just move the queen out of the way or he would even trade this. I don't see trading as like an amazing option. Of course, this rook cannot move from here because a5 is kind of like stuck. So you have to take it with this rook. And now he can just challenge the file with rook fd8 with the threat that he might take it. Because still your rook is stuck here, guys. He still cannot come to d1. So your knight will be forced to take it and the next rook will come to d8. So at the end of all of this, black might get that open file. So here, I think a lot of this game will happen on this open file. It would be all about the tension on this open file, where both of these pieces are just looking at each other. They're just deciding who's gonna act first on this file, the D file, the critical D file. And Gukesh also has this D4 square to come in with, but of course at the moment E5 is weak, so you can't immediately do that. So yeah, that is what I feel that is happening at the moment. This D file will play a big role at this point. So we go back to the live board. Yeah, b3 is what Ding has played. And looking at the time, guys, he's still at 156. That means he's perfectly and perfectly still in his preparation. I don't think he has nothing too much to think. While Gukesh has used a bit of his time, but I think it's just like what Ding did yesterday, right? Till 30 minutes or something, Ding Liren thought like anything. I thought he just absolutely forgot his opening prep. But then he went on to outplay Gukesh. So it could happen the other way around. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, is there going to be a decisive result today, or are they gonna play the safe on round two? So yeah, here we go. Let's see what happens now. I actually expected yesterday's game to be very quick, guys. Like I thought yesterday I'm out of here in just like an hour or something. They're gonna play out their openings, see what each other's preparations are, and just be like that. We are off. Like we'll be having some snacks after an hour. But they just made everybody sit for 4 to 5 hours on the board and analyze the whole thing. So yeah, it was a long day yesterday. And you have to really appreciate these people who are working behind the scenes for this kind of a tournament. Singapore is like a great place. It's an amazing place to play chess. Everybody behind FIDE and all these people who put this together. And on top of these players who spent this much hour over the board. But yeah, a great effort by everybody out there. But let's see what where this is going. So still Gukesh is still burning a bit of his time. He's at 133 while Ding is at 156. So what are the other options we have here? Is he gonna plan something like Queen E7? That doesn't work because Knight D5 comes with some problems here, right? It just doesn't make sense. Then Queen E7 is a move that doesn't make sense at all, right? So that's not something he's gonna do because sometimes, guys, you might feel like I'll move the queen and give this open file for the rook. But where do you move the queen is a big issue here. So that is the reason why queen takes d1 is also a possibility here, just because of the factor that this a5 pawn is a bit soft. It could be taken at some point. Um, so he has to take with this, as I told you guys before. Like this rook can come in, and this rook is a bit tied up to this a5 pawn. So that's something Gukesh might be looking forward to, but I don't know. We haven't seen anything from Gukesh after the move b3. And b3 was very quick from Ding. Ding is a happy man today. He's a very happy guy. He's won a game. I've seen like in a lot of other videos where they were saying that he's won a game after 304 days maybe. Or like, wow, what a time to win a game, right? So if I was Ding, I would have been celebrating yesterday maybe. Just kidding, guys. Too early to celebrate, but uh, like good for him that being the world champion, he has faced a lot of backlashes. Like people have said he's not gonna make it. This game's not gonna last 14 games. I don't know about that, but still. And him coming here and winning the first game, that's interesting. That's very interesting. And I also saw some videos where his parents are there with him, just like Gukesh has his parent with him, which I think makes him very comfortable. Singapore is very close to China, so I'm pretty sure he's having some good food in Singapore and good like the climate has to be great. So in total, Ding is the guy who's enjoying Singapore at the moment. So yeah, there we go. And Gukesh is still thinking. He's taking his time. He's burning his time, which is good for him because this is a stage where you don't want to give him any kind of slip. You don't want to give Ding those positions where he can grind for hours, because Ding loves the positional game, just going at it. And I'm sure all of us saw that yesterday, where he just took one square after the other, after the other, after the other, and just, I don't know, it was very hard to make a comeback. And about everyone who's watching, please let me know. This is game number 2, Ding Liren versus Gukesh. Ding is leading 1.20 after the first game. And if you guys have anything to ask me, feel free to ask me. Okay. I'm just very much interested about what move Gukesh is gonna go come up with in right now, because I feel this is an important point of the game. Like where this game is gonna go, is it gonna go into equality, or is it gonna stay with the slight advantage that Ding has after the move castling here from Gukesh? Like it's a very natural looking move, right? Castling is a very logical move to be played, but it just gives Ding a quite a happy position to play maybe. So we'll see. I think Gukesh is just making sure or calculating till the very end at the moment. Yeah, there is chances, Leo. Like if you think psychologically, I think both players would be okay with it. Ding would be okay because he's leading the tournament. Gukesh would be okay because it gives him some time to recover from the loss he has had. because he has had a loss yesterday, and it's not easy to just come back the very next game. But there have been people who have done that. There have been, like, Vishy Anand has done that against Boris Gelfand, if I remember, where Anand lost a game, then he came back and defeated Gelfand in the very next game, which was very inspiring. I think if there is someone who can inspire Gukesh to make this comeback, there's no one better than Vishy Anand, because he has done that in all ways. He has defeated Topalov after losing the first game, just like this. He has lost a game and come back the very next game, and all this has happened in World Championships. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, exactly. If it's a draw, it's 0.5 for each. So it would be 1.5 for Ding and half for Gukesh. So that's how things would go if it's a draw. But as I was saying, guys, like at the moment for Gukesh, the best person to take inspiration from would be the, what do you say? What, how do you describe Vishy Anand from India? Like I don't find words to describe him. Like he is he is the person. He is chess, right? So yeah, I hope Gukesh takes all those motivation and just comes strong today. And would be great to even see him make a comeback right in this game. That would be exciting for all of us. But right now the position look kind of symmetrical. Everything looks same. If you guys might be thinking that okay, he has a double pawn, Gukesh has a double pawn, but the only difference here is that, guys, there is this a5 pawn. At the same time, even though it's a bit soft on a5, it is a bit cramping the position here, right? So it is cramping the c7, b7, a6 setup. So that is there. So keeping that aside, the position looks kind of symmetrical, like it's all castled. The pawn structure is what is making the difference here. Everything else, if you look at all the pieces, they're all standing at the same places. That's an interesting thing to look at, right? If you look at all these pieces, the two queens, the rooks, the knights, the rooks and the king, they're all at the same place. The only thing that's making the difference of this position is the pawn structure, and that plays a very, very important part in the game of chess. Pawn structures, you might underestimate the little guy there, but he is very dangerous. one one pawn break could be it. So that is what makes the whole difference in a game. So as we keep watching, it is still Gukesh to play, and Gukesh seems a bit out of his prep maybe after b3, or he's recollecting everything and taking his time, doesn't want to make any more mistakes to give Ding a massive lead. 2-0 is not something Gukesh wants here. He will be very confident that he can make a comeback from this point deficit, but 2-0 is like not what you're looking for in a world championship, right? So I'm pretty sure that's why he's using out his time. He just wants to make sure that he takes a lot of time. So there you go. Like you can see a very focused Gukesh maybe today, or maybe he's just thinking what to do. Yep, there comes the trade, guys. Queen takes d1 happens, and Ding is gonna take back most probably with his rook on the f file, because of course he can take it with the ape rook also. So if you guys are thinking how can he do that, why can't the opponent just take this guy? But then what happens is you lose the e5 pawn. That's a possibility. So you don't want to give up the a pawn for the center pawn here, right? Like, I mean, you would be happy. The person losing the a pawn would be happy because he just got a center pawn here, right? So that is something Gukesh won't do at the moment. So Ding can try it, or he can also go for rook fd1. Both of this looks absolutely fine. So queen d1 happened. I'm just looking into the moves. I think Ding has just played his move. He played rook d1. Rook a d8 has been played on the board. They are playing it out very quick today. But it's slowly looking better for Ding, but I don't think it is a huge advantage. But I'm glad that they're not facing a Magnus Carlsen here today. That is good for them. Good for these guys. Because Magnus would just sit on this kind of an advantage, like this 0.3 advantages, and make you play this game for the rest of the 4 to 5 hours even if you want to get a draw. So you don't want to play Magnus Carlsen in these kind of endgame positions. I'm not taking anything away from these guys, but we have seen that before. We have seen it against Nepo, what he has done. We have seen him do that against a lot of people. So that is someone different that you don't want to play, right? But anyways, coming back to this game, Rook A D8 has been played. So some of the major ideas here, guys, is one thing would be just to use the king to F1 and king to E2. You know why? Because you're going towards an endgame. And when you're going towards an endgame, it's always great to get the king towards the center. That's why king F1, king E2 could be a plan. And at the same time, if you look at other plans, Rook, I don't know, like, would there be some plans not to, like, just to give up this file? But because I don't see black entering this file. Like, there's no entry points for him, but still, I don't think that would go into Ding's, like, the possibilities he's thinking. One another interesting plan here is that, guys, he can go knight e1 here. That is an interesting plan because he is going to d3 from here. And from d3, he's looking at c5 from here. And that is interesting, right? That knight is maneuvering out to d3 is a good idea because here, if you look at here, he's looking at e5. But just imagine the same knight here. That's an interesting knight because here I'm looking at two different pawns. And the c5 pawn is a bit weak because of this a5 who has just cramped these three guys. So yeah, let's see. Let's see how things goes. Uh, yeah, right. I think that yeah, exactly. Magnus is a bit different. Yeah, he is a bit different. Like he plays chess a bit different. So we don't care that much, but it is a bit seriously different, right? So yes, just saying that. An amazing player, like a total class apart is Magnus. I was recently seeing his games from the Tata Steel, Rapid and Blitz, and wow, just crazy. He was just winning one after the other. But that's not who we are concerned about right now. We are concerned about the world champion from China, Ding Liren, playing against Gukesh. But do you actually guys know it's not actually Ding Liren? I've heard it somewhere that Ding himself say that it's not Ding Liren. It's not Liren. It's something like Lizan, something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I've heard that. I've definitely heard him say it in one of the interview that everybody's pronouncing his name wrong. So am I. But I think I will research it and find out how do you really say his name. That will definitely be my plan for maybe the rest day, right? But anyways, guys, looks good. White is okay here. Ding has multiple ideas. One interesting one is knight e1, knight d3, looking at the pawn on c5, which is a bit weak because b6 can't be played. The a pawn takes, and a6 falls, right? And at the same time, another plan that you can think about here is king to f1 and just bring the king out to e2. Just activate your king, that's all, right? So that's another one. I'm not saying activate it directly to e2 because some interesting knight d4 checks can be annoying and you don't want to take it and all. So, but king f1, just making sure the king is ready to come towards the center at some point. At some point. Yeah, Leo, like maybe one day I will just stream playing some chess and we could maybe, right? I would love to stream some games. I play a lot of chess.com actually, but uh, I play a lot of bullet and stuff. So one day I think we should have fun. I think I should have an account and just maybe play from zero. That's something I really want to do and try to see how far I can reach. But as of now, we are waiting for Ding Liren to make his move, which could possibly be a very interesting move here. And Ding is using his time finally, so that means he's also started thinking. He wants to make sure his prep is on point and he's not missing out any minute details in it. There is a lot of interesting minute details that these guys prepare for the World Championship. So you have to really appreciate both of them playing this out. A lot of hard work put behind this. Yep. So we can see Ding is thinking, and I hope to see one of these ideas of either knight e1. This would be very interesting. I really would love to see what Gukesh does against this maneuvering of the knight to d3. That could be really fun here. Like, how does he handle this one? There is knight d7 at some point to do that. Then maybe f6. Support this, get your own king out. Maybe this way. These are just plans, guys. Just what things that I feel. But definitely we will have to see what Gukesh comes up with, right? So what I feel is knight e1. At some point, he will have to go knight d7 to protect this pawn. Then f6, king here. I think this is still equal. Computers might love a bit of an option for white, but that's because they love to yeah, slightly after knight e1, knight d3. Otherwise, I don't see any huge advantage. Plus, this a5 pawn is really a bit of an annoying pawn for black. As I told you, it really cramps these guys. It just disconnects the c5 pawn from the other guys. It's like someone has just got lost out of his group of people. These all of them are a group, but this guy just got lost, right? So that is one thing. And Ding, I think at some point is also ready to give the a5 pawn, but what he wants in return is something uh like, what do you say, it's a deal that is not looking great for Gukesh, because he wants the e5 pawn for that. He's saying at any moment I'm going to give you this a5 pawn, you better give me the e5 pawn. So that's the deal they make. So, and giving up that center pawn, I don't know if that's a good deal, right? But definitely, let's see what Gukesh comes up with. He would have like clearly calculated what is happening. So let's see where this game is going. Is any one of them gonna crack? Is the loss, yesterday's loss, gonna come up on Gukesh? Or will he be motivated to make a comeback immediately today? Or does he just want to take it easy? Oh yeah, like yeah, exactly. Last game it was that pawn on a3, right? Yeah, exactly. That Ding used all the way, that created the problem. I hope this game it's not the pawn on a5. So Ding and the a pawns, that's a good story. They have a they have a good love story. So yesterday it was the a3 pawn, and today I hope it's not the a5 pawn for Gukesh. But I feel Gukesh still doesn't have to push also too much today. Even if this ends up in a draw today, or if they decide to take it easy, there is a lot of games, and he can come back tomorrow with the white pieces, all guns blazing. And I feel that is definitely a good plan, guys. Like, I don't think he would want to push too much and give that 2 point deficit to Ding. Definitely not something we want to have, right? So he would have talked about it. He would have worked out yesterday's loss. At this level of chess, guys, you can't be upset. You just can't be upset. That is so sad, right? If it was one of like, if it was a normal tournament, you lose a game, you'll be like, oh god, I just lost badly, or this feels so bad. But there is no space to feel like that, or there is just no space for that in such a big tournament like the World Championship. And I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say, right? I'm just trying to explain the psychological part of this, that these players are going through. It might look very easy to come there and just play the games every day, but they're going through lot of things here. So, what a move have we just seen? We have just seen Ding Liren just play Rook C1. When was the last time any one of us put a rook on this kind of a file? This is quite interesting, guys. Like, this is crazy. Someone has to like explain this, right? So Rook C1 is very clearly a plan Ding has prepared. I don't think it's logical that someone would just play something like this all of a sudden over the board. Would you just put your rook on C1, which is not even an open file, and give this open file for your opponent? I think the plan at some point is C3 B4. At some point, I guess, like after this whole pawn is saved, the knight can move C3 B4, and he sees there is a break here. So Ding has a very clear idea about what is going to happen on this queen side, just like his very clear idea about what was going to happen yesterday's game on the queen side. He knows what is going to happen. Otherwise, rook c1 just doesn't make sense. So, and rook c1 is something even the computers over here, the bar says it's okay. You had 0.3, now you have 0.1. So if it's still giving 0.1 after a move like rook c1, Ding knows what is rook c1. And that could not, like, that is not that great for someone like Gukesh. That your opponent knows what is happening, right? I hope Gukesh is not going to walk into something that Ding is very clear with, because as I told you yesterday also, guys, Ding Liren is very good in positional chess. He knows exactly what is happening here. So that is something to be bothered about for all this, all the Gukesh fans out there. But nonetheless, both players are taking time. Today, it's a much more even game, right? Yesterday, I had to wait for 30 minutes to see Ding making a move. I just couldn't see him play. Who's your favorite chess player? Oh, my favorite chess player? I really love Capablanca. I really like Capablanca's games. I think I really like chess endgames, so I'm a big fan of Capablanca. And I even like the modern chess Capablanca too. And you know who's that. So if you guys know who's that, let me know. Do you guys know who is the modern Capablanca? He's not just Capablanca. He's a mix of a lot of players. So yeah, but I think Capablanca's games were very exciting in a way how he grinds down in games and stuff. There are like a lot of those. And Capablanca, as we talk about Capablanca, this is a game that we should be talking about Capablanca, because this is a clear end game position that's going to come up very soon, like a very straightforward end game. We are going to get it. And I would love to see how both the players are going to maneuver their pieces. So, what do you guys think? Is Ding Liren still in his preparation, and is he just gonna make Gukesh walk into it, or is there something different here, or is he just not bothered about this? Like, does Gukesh have everything covered, or is Ding really gonna make use of this position? Because it's very clear that he's in a position where he's very clear what is happening. With Rook c1, it's perfectly clear. The intentions are clear. He knows what this position is. But I'm like super excited to see how he's gonna play this out. Uh, both players have to look out for these guys. That's why this knight just cannot be lifted. This knight also cannot be lifted, maybe because e5 is gone. For example, guys, he just can't jump in with the knight here. I'm not saying you can go directly take knight takes e5. That could be equal because rook fe8, attack the rook knight, send the knight back maybe, and then, oops, get the e4 pawn. You get a lot of play there. Or maybe just come king f1 here. I would be interested to see knight d4 happening on the board. Like, I would love to see how much Ding knows about this position here. Because if he knows very well, and if Gukesh plays knight to d4, this knight is not a piece that you want to have here, right? And king f1 or just knight e1 maybe. I think knight e1 makes more sense. Otherwise, he's going to take and double your pawn structure here, which you might not want. So knight e1 would be a plan there. Plan is to go d3, put pressure here. Because b6 is not an easy thing to do, because this is here. Like, I hope all of this is making sense. So I would love to see knight d4, guys. Knight d4 looks like a fun move to play here. I don't think Gukesh would. Like, I think maybe he might have considered it, knight d4, or he might be looking for something else here. Because the simple thing to understand here is knight d4, this is not very easy to take because of rook fe8. He's attacking this, and you might think that, okay, why can't he just support it like that? He can, but then knight takes, followed by some crazy knight checks, and I don't know, guys. This is very interesting. King f2, knight c1, rook c1, f6. I clearly have no picture what is happening. Uh, this position, I don't know why the bar still thinks it's equal. Because king e3 happens here. He could take it, and then f5. Can you believe that this position is equal? That that is the level of chess this game is happening right now. So if you go back, that is very interesting variation, guys. We have to look at that again, because rook dc1 has already been an interesting move played here. But when they play rook dc1, black can go knight d4 here, just jumping your knight to the center. We all know that the knights are great in the center. And when he's in the center, here comes the move, knight takes e5. And if he takes knight e5, rook e8, trying to put pressure here. f4 happens, knight takes e4. Crazy. Because if you take it here, it is knight e2 check. You have to move the king. And when the king moves, knight takes c1, takes f6. You can't move the knight because this knight is lost. So you go king e3, advance the king again, takes f5, and this is slightly better for black, but almost equal, which is really surprising because white is down in exchange, but I think the majority of pawns here, and that amazingly strong knight, well-placed king, and the rook who can just join them. That has to be the reason. And I hope that is clear, this variation. Very interesting variation. In such a position where things look absolutely equal, seeing such moves is like great. You feel a lot of energy. That's why endgames, you can't just count down any endgames. You can't just say that, oh, this is going to be a draw. No, one interesting move and it could turn upside down. So that's why I like this kind of games. But anyways, let's see what Gukesh has in store. Is he gonna go knight g4? So I would love to see that, guys. Is he gonna go knight d4 here? Are we gonna see knight d4 in this position? Is he just gonna double up his pawn like rooks here? That's a plan, right? Put both the rooks on the open file, because rooks love open files. So put them there. Or what is other ideas here? I think these are the two major ideas that I see. I don't see any other plans here. I feel it could be rook d6 or it could be knight d4. Both are quite interesting. I think there is still a lot of life in this game. It is not a dull game at all. Both players know what is happening, especially Liren. He knows it. His time shows it, and Gukesh is 30 minutes down on time control here, which is not good for him. Which is absolutely not good for him. But I hope he makes a comeback. There's still a lot of time. There's 1 hour plus here. So he's just trying to figure out the best moves on the board. He just doesn't want an error. He just doesn't want to walk into Ding's position that he and his team has prepared for this one. Because as of now, I feel we are in a position which Ding pretty much knows what to do. So yeah, that is what's happening, guys. So you guys let me know what you think about this game, what you feel, who's doing better, and I would really love to know that. Okay, so I just don't feel like going out actually, because I feel there is something interesting that is gonna come up here. So I'm really excited to know what Gukesh is gonna play right now. It is very important for this game. His next move. Is he gonna just develop the rooks? Is he gonna go for knight d4? And I don't know how Ding has prepared for it. I would love to see how Ding has prepared for that knight d4 move. Because knight e5, as we saw, it's a very crazy variation. I'm pretty sure you guys have a clear picture about that. But yeah, let's see where this goes. And do ask me any questions you want to ask. Like, let that be any random moves, let that be any questions about the game, or what do you feel about this, or anything, guys. Like, just feel free. We are just watching this together, that's all. And absolutely, okay. Everyone should remember Gukesh played excellently in the chess Olympiad. Yeah, in the Olympiad they actually never played, right? The Ding and Gukesh game never happened. Ding just didn't play. He let Wei play on board one, and he just took rest that day. But yeah, s- same here, chess world. It's just that I'm watching. It's nothing special. It's just that I'm watching with you guys. That's all. Oh, yeah. So I think we are still waiting for Gukesh to make a move. He's down to 1 hour 12 minutes, which is not really exciting for all of his fans. Maybe that he is definitely not maybe in his prep, but doesn't matter. He can figure out what's happening here. So he doesn't need to be in his prep, yeah. He can still understand or just figure out the position himself. Because there would have been a lot of hours put into these kind of positions or these kind of games that we are seeing right now. So I don't see any point where there is a worry for people who are supporting Gukesh. And as far as I feel, until he's down only 1 point, you can see him making a comeback at any moment. It could be this game, it could be the next game, but it will happen. But the only thing I feel that should not happen is Ding going 2 points up. That will be very hard for Gukesh. And that will be very hard to make a comeback. But I feel Ding Liren at the moment, he is playing some good chess. Like he is very much prepared. He's prepared for what is happening here, guys. He's not he's not taken aback by Gukesh or the form that Gukesh is in. Just imagine this is two players who are at the extreme of their forms. Gukesh has been playing some of the best chess of his life, as all of you would have seen in the chess Olympiad a few months ago. And Ding was playing or was at the worst phase of his life. I mean, chess wise, right? And then all of a sudden, they play the world championship, and Ding Liren just wins the game number one. Life is really unpredictable, right? Like, you just can't expect something to happen just like that. But going ahead, I am pretty sure until it's 1 point deficit, there is always a chance that Gukesh is gonna make a comeback anytime. It could be this game, as I told you, next game, it could be the game after that. But the comeback is happening. The only thing he doesn't want is going down 2 points here. That's why he is putting in all his efforts here. He's calculating out everything. He doesn't want any, what do you say, minute points to be left out. So he's going into the details here. He's down to 1 hour 10 minutes. That's kind of like 30-35 minutes apart each other. That there is a time deficit here, but we have seen it yesterday. We have seen Ding have that deficit and then make the comeback out of nowhere, right? So we have seen that. It's not new. It's not like we have not seen this before. Definitely have seen it. And for all you guys that is watching the stream, if you like it, I mean, if you like the stream, you can like it. I mean, hit the like button. So, and you can also subscribe that you can see more streams coming up. You can watch more of the content over here, and yeah, we can have a good time. So, anyways, guys, coming back to the game, very interesting position where Gukesh is taking a lot of time because this is a very crucial point of this game. He needs to find a way here. I mean, he is thinking what he needs to be going ahead with. So the major moves are knight d4 and rook d6 because Ding Liren in his very last move has just played rook to c1, which would have clearly shown Gukesh or just told Gukesh that Ding knows this very well, what is happening. Otherwise, nobody's going to put a rook on such a file. But so Ding knows what is the future of this position. He might be thinking of something like bringing this knight away or c3 b4. He knows that there is some breaks happening here and he's just preparing for it. So Gukesh doesn't want to walk straight into that. So he is taking his time, which I feel is good for him. It is definitely good for him, the time he takes at the moment. So you can see both players, they're just really giving it their everything. The amount of people behind these two guys are just huge, like the team, their parents, their family, just a huge amount of work being done behind this world championship. And you need to appreciate both, especially Gukesh, who's like 18 and facing this world championship scenario. That's not easy. That's not easy to do at 18. But nonetheless, if things goes well, he might create history at the end of this world championship. If not, Dingleran will prove to everybody in this world that you can always make a comeback. And he has already made one yesterday. So we hope he doesn't make another one today and that completely shatters a lot of dreams of Gukesh, even though 2 points is also still comebackable. Uh, I feel this game is going to be very critical. This game has to have a good decision. What do you think Ding should play h3 to get escape? I don't think h3 is needed here. Like, such a back rank issue is not going to happen. Usually you play h3 to stop something like a pin here or just to have some space for your king to get out. But here the king already has some good squares to come out with king f1. He can just play a very normal looking move king f1 here. You know why king f1 can be interesting is because that's also helping the king go towards the center where he might want that king to be. And if there is anybody new who is watching right now and has missed any of the variations that we were talking about, there is this very exciting variation knight takes e5. I don't know, like after knight d4, sorry. After knight d4, knight takes e5. That's complications till the very end. We will analyze that if that happens. If not, it's okay. We have analyzed that before, so I don't want you guys to be looking at again and again the same thing. But one last time I will show it because Gukesh is still thinking. He's down to 1 hour 5 minutes. So what is he thinking? It could be knight d4, guys. The reason is knight takes e5 is a very interesting variation here. I'm not sure Ding is going to go for it, but if he goes for e5 here, it is going to be rook fe8. Then you can see these rooks are like looking down at these open files. And the problem here is that you might think, what's the big deal? Save your knight, right? Play f4. You can't. Knight takes e4. Very interesting sacrifice here. Because you might be like, oh, wait a second. That's a free knight. That's not. Because knight e2 check now. And when the king comes to f2, he takes on c1. You take it. You can say that I have two minor pieces for the rook. That is good for you, right? But at the moment, it's not because he has the move f6 to play. Attacks both your knights. If one of them moves, the other one is gone, right? So here white has another good move, king to e3. You take e5, I play f5 here. This is interesting because the rooks can't really enter into white's position. And this knight on e4 is pretty strong. But even though this is slightly still better for Gukesh, I still feel this is a crazy variation. Maybe he's just calculating this till the very end. That's what he might be doing. Otherwise, if he doesn't want any of this, after knight d4, another option here, guys, is to play knight to d1. This is a possibility. I mean e1. The plan is simple. I want to go here. Very easy. I just want to go here and save my I mean, attack the c5 pawn. I don't know what Gukesh could be going for that. It's very interesting to see what could happen when he plays this move. Because, I don't know, rook d6 maybe, trying to double up there. But then again, there is this move knight d3, right? Okay, that doesn't work because it's not working at the moment. So you can play f3 here. Sorry. Just protect the e4 pawn first. But why not knight d3? Why not attacking? Why is it not working? Oh, sorry. Like, you see that? Makes it a loose piece. Knight takes c2. You can't take it because rook takes d3. Tactics everywhere. So do you really think, guys, that this is a very dull position? It's not, guys. It's really not. It's a very exciting chess that is actually happening here. Liren versus Gukesh, game number 2. I don't see anything dull here. This game could again be a decider. And I hope Gukesh pulls it off this time. Both players have equal pieces, but there is some exciting stuff happening here. So I still think Gukesh is thinking about knight d4. That's my whole thing here. Otherwise, he wouldn't take this much time to think about rook d6 and the next rook coming to d8. I don't think so. What is he really thinking about is how can he really make some play here with knight d4. This has to be in the back of his mind. This is the move he is counting on. And as we checked knight e5 here. We checked knight e1 here. Another possibility is just moving, trying to bring the king out. But to be very honest, guys, I'm not a big fan of such a position. Look at this now. The computers feel like, oh, it's equal. I don't. I absolutely don't think it's equal. I feel both players can play here, and it is again very double-edged here, like with having this structure. But as I told you guys, the biggest game-changing scenario here is the pawn structures of this game. That this actually can be a great lesson for all of you guys upon pawn structures. This game will be very instructive for us. Whatever be the result, it might be Ding winning this, it might be Gukesh winning this, it might be a draw, but you guys are going to learn, or we are going to learn a lot about pawn structures today, maybe. That's what I feel. I don't know, but I have a good feeling about that. Very interesting position, guys. These are kind of positions we need to understand, or these are the positions as a player, maybe if you are a good chess player who wants to be better, these are positions you must learn, because this teaches you real chess, or where pieces needs to be going, what are the squares, importance of squares, pawn structures, importance of the king being active, so many such stuff. So yeah, I hope I could also help you guys by talking a bit about it and trying to show what might these guys be thinking. But definitely Gukesh is now down to 1 hour 46 minutes up on the clock. This could be either scary for Gukesh, scary for his team, or he will come back up with some clear planning. I don't know what or where is he lost. I think really something like the move. So Ding Liren has, I think, won this game like a psychological fight here with the move rook c1 here, as I was saying. Because by playing rook c1, Ding has really told Gukesh that, see Gukesh, I know this game. I know this position. You need to find a way out of this now. I have a clear plan. Otherwise, why would I play this rook here? I don't know, even if it's a bluff, but it's not a bluff because the computers agree with what Ding has played. The advantage is slowly building up to 0.2. And if it's a prepared position, then 0.2 is a dangerous advantage. So you guys can ask me anything you guys think about this, or what you feel about this position. And do let me know. And we will see what happens here. But nonetheless, a very interesting game by Gukesh versus Ding. A very interesting game going down the wire here today. I don't feel that this will fizzle out very quickly. Maybe it will. There might be variations that can just lead to equality. But yeah, Ding has been a tough player to play today. Like, he's just ready for everything. I thought he just wanted a safe day today, but no. He's come up with ideas that he wants to try on Gukesh. He's just asking Gukesh, I'll give you a punch, you give me a punch. Let's see who stands at the end. It's like both players standing in front of each other, punching each other. And I hope one of them stays up at the end. It's either both of them falling together or one of them staying. So this is Gukesh versus Ding, guys. Game number 2. Ding leads the World Championship 1-0. Gukesh is trying to make his comeback, which he might. Which he might today. But definitely he is not looking good on the time. He's 58 minutes now. He's burnt a lot of his time. I think he has taken inspiration. But here comes knight d4. Here comes knight d4 on the board. The move that we have been talking about, or we have been thinking about. There we go, guys. We have talked about this move. So Gukesh has made it very clear he wants to go for some complication. He wants to see what is going to happen here. So this is very interesting now. Would love to see how both players go ahead from here. Okay, guys, so I am back. Just just a small break. Okay, so let us see where this is going now after knight d4 by Gukesh. So what do you guys think? What made him think so much? Is he completely prepared for this? Of course, if you are thinking why has black given up this free pawn? It's not a free pawn. If you take it, rook comes to e8. I have shown this multiple times here, but I'll show this again. You take e5, rook e8, right? And this is some crazy position here. Um, Black will just play this move. I mean, if you play something like f4 and help the knight, knight e4. Okay, knight e2, fork is coming. You just can't take this. And this has to be the variation Gukesh was completely analyzing. He's just calculating everything. I've told this yesterday also. Like Magnus had said this too, that Gukesh is someone who can really calculate. He can see till the very end. It's not like he's just gonna see one move or two moves ahead and just three moves or five moves. No, he's gonna outcalculate very small details that you have seen. And that is very true. And that has to be the reason he took this time. He took a very long time, went close to being 1 hour deficit, but he has made his move and now Ding is thinking. I'm very excited to see if Ding will go for a move quick. Is he prepared for this idea? Or has he seen this position before? Or does he need time to understand? So here you will get to know whether Ding Liren is ready for this. Like, is he still in his preparations? Does he still know this position? Just like his last move, Rook fc1. So very exciting, some moves coming up next. And these moves are gonna like really decide this game, you know. I feel knight e1. So I think Ding most probably could come this way, like knight e1, knight d3, and put pressure on the c5 pawn. That's a very logical plan, right? Look at this knight. So very simple, guys. What's it doing from here and what's it doing from here? Completely two different things. And that does make a lot of sense, right? So that is the reason I feel the knight could come to e1 and d3, but otherwise we will see what Ding Liren has been planning for this world championship, or what does he have up his sleeve here, and can Gukesh handle it, or has Gukesh calculated this out? Has he seen what is going to happen? So that's it. I feel Ding, with the kind of player he is, I really predict knight e1 to happen. It could be the move he is considering, to go to d3. That's his style of play. He's just recollecting stuff. Let's see. Let's see if Ding actually goes knight e1. That would be very exciting. He's actually thinking. Okay, so I don't know what you guys are thinking about this position. What do you guys think? Is there still a lot of fight left here? Is Gukesh in a bit of trouble? Has he been out prepared? Or do you think Ding Gukesh will take this down to the wire with Ding? And very simple thing, guys. One more thing is that if some of you or if any of you are thinking, what about the knight capturing the knight? In these kind of positions, that's not a good thing to do. You see that you helped him undouble his pawns, right? You just helped him undouble his pawns, and also this pawn has become pretty strong here on d4, controlling some key squares. Your knight can jump on to d5 too, but then you are just losing a pawn here, and it's all complicated. So that's a simple reason why you don't take on d4 immediately. If you guys are thinking, why is he just not saying about that move? Why are you not talking about knight takes d4? That's why I've talked about knight takes e5 and also knight e1. Knight takes e5 is not good for Ding. I don't think he's going for it because Gukesh has definitely seen it till the end. So what Ding Liren might be thinking at the moment is very clear. He is thinking of the move or the maneuvering of knight e1 going to d3. This is what he is thinking. So that is good. I think let's see where this goes now. Just looking at all your messages here. Okay, guys, so if you like what you're seeing, if you like the stream and stuff, you can like it so that it reaches more people and all of us watch this together, right? We take this to a lot of more people. And if not, it's okay. It's fine. I can understand. Like, we don't like everything we see, do we? But anyways, as of now, I'm pretty sure Ding does like his position, or he's not gonna like his opponent's position, or Gukesh. One of them is not gonna like their position after the next few moves. So let's see what Ding Liren is gonna come up here with. Is it gonna be the knight coming to e1 to d3, or does he have any other plan here? You should really. I think one thing that I've learned in the past few days, guys, is to appreciate all the people who's doing the broadcast out there. Wow, they're sitting there for a long time, and that is not easy. Making chess videos is much easier than this, maybe, but this is fun. This is fun. Like, I can get to uh, talk to you guys and stuff. How many years have you been playing chess? That's a good question, Varsha. I think I've been playing quite a lot. Like, I think I started quite late when compared to like people, a lot of people. I just started out quite in a fun way. I never thought I would be playing chess, but yeah. My dad used to ask me like, "Do you want to play chess?" I was like, "No, I like magic. I want to learn magic when I was young." And I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. There was this tricks to hide coins, and stuff like that. But I've been playing like it's definitely been close to 15 or maybe yes, close to like yeah, something like that. So that's something that I have been doing. But yeah, definitely chess has been a big part of my life, and it's just something amazing. I feel chess is a clear miniature of your life. If you understand chess pretty, like if you go deep into it, like I think real life situations are also going to be the same. So yeah, that's a good question, Rasha. Like, took me to think a bit. So yeah, you guys can ask me any such stuff, and especially about what's happening in the game also. So I will try to let you guys know what is happening there too. So as we talked about right now, guys, I see knight e1 to be the only straightforward plan here. It's a very decent straightforward plan, and I'm pretty sure Ding is thinking about it. He's not gonna go all in like knight e5 or something. He's not thinking about that. He is definitely thinking about knight e1, knight d3. And if he's really into this prep, or if Ding really knows this position very well, then he might also be thinking king f1. These are two moves that will show us how well prepared Ding is. King f1 is a crazy looking move, guys, because takes, we might feel like, wow, nice position. I got his pawns doubled. There is this isolated pawn in the corner, but this is still a position to deal with. Like, I don't know. White still has a lot of play left in this, because as I told you, there's a lot of play on this side of the board. It's just not a game that's over. But yeah, let's see. We'll get to know that. We'll get to know what kind of position is Ding thinking about here, and what does he actually want out of this stuff. So he's just thinking. He's still thinking. He's taking his time here, which looks nice actually. So he has played. Oops, Mike. Yeah. So we have seen knight d4 happen, and we're just waiting to see what Ding Liren has for it. So I think the time gap is closing in. The time is definitely closing in. Ding is using his time. He's down to 35 minutes. He's trying to put together his ideas, the plans that they have figured out as a team. His team would have definitely. Last year it was Richard Rapport, one of his second, which was quite. He's a quite an interesting second to have, because Richard is a very creative player on the board. So having Richard on the team, I don't know, maybe this year too, Ding might repeat it. Richard Rapport might be his lucky charm. And so that's what I feel. I don't know, but seconds also play a lot of big role in the game. I think it does play a big important role here, having your seconds in, because they spend a lot of energy and time helping you out. So there's a lot of people behind this thing, a lot of people behind a world championship game. So yeah, Ding Liren is just recollecting his stuff. What is he doing now? He wants some water. Okay, that's something good to have in between. That's something that even I should have right now. So, but anyways, guys, I would love to see what's the next few moves, and we will take a break after some time and have some stuff. But yeah, as I told, if you guys like what you see, you could subscribe, and you could also like the stream if you want. Otherwise, it's okay. So let's see where this game is going right now. So it's Ding Liren versus D Gukesh, and it is the World Championship game number 2. Ding is leading the game 1-0. I think the whole world is looking forward to the next few games, because Gukesh has to strike very quickly. He can't let Ding settle in. And that's usually what even Vishy Anand has done multiple times. A lot of times he has lost his games. He has come back and striked immediately when he was the world champion, until he lost it to Magnus in, I guess, 2013 in Chennai. And that was a big loss, because yeah, that was like Magnus has never given anybody a chance after that. But nonetheless, let us see what Ding is coming up here with. Knight d4 still on the board. He is thinking what needs to be done, and so are we. We are also thinking what needs to be done here. Let's see, guys. As I have already mentioned multiple times here, knight e5 is an option, but definitely not the option Ding is thinking about here. He has to be looking for moves like knight e1. The plan, and here we go. Knight e1 has been played, right? Because that's the kind of player Ding is. Like, knight e1 is kind of a... Oops. So knight e1 is kind of like a Ding Liren move, if you ask me. He just wants to go e1. He wants to... Oops, not there. He wants to go d3 and put pressure on c5. The plan is very simple. And now it's up to Gukesh to decide what is he gonna do here. Gukesh has a lot of different plans. One straightforward plan is to double up on this file. Because if you think that this knight is gonna go here now, it's not possible. There's a tactical problem here. Do you see what's the tactical error? We have just seen, who people who are here would have already seen it. It's knight takes c2. And boom, your knight's a bit loose. Because when the rook takes this, he takes this, and black has won a pawn, and great advantage. Not something you want to give a player of Gukesh's caliber. So rook d6 feels like a very interesting move that could happen. And it's been played, guys. Immediately played on the board. Rook d6. Gukesh has played it. He just came back to the board. He just played Rook d6 immediately. So he was calculating long lines. He's ready now. He doesn't want to waste any more time. No time trouble for him. He's like, I'm ready to go here. Rook d6. Because knight d3 is not possible at the moment. So Ding needs to be very clear what is happening here now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I think the move from Ding has actually happened. Uh, just getting back here, guys. No, Rook d6. Ding hasn't played. One of his options is to go f3, guys, just to make sure your knight on c3 is a bit more free. It's not stuck to this pawn on e4. So f3 is an option, which also lets this king come out here. But then definitely Gukesh has this maneuver of knight h5 followed by knight f4. Look at both these knights. Like, I still understand that the computers feel this is still equal, but there's a big difference about computer analysis and humans, guys. Like, for humans to play such positions, it's not easy. Like, finding those moves is not very, very comfortable. But let's see where this goes. So this is Liren versus Gukesh World Championship. What would be Ding's plan here? Is this game gonna flip? This is some crucial moment of this game. This middle game situation, or like close to an end game situation, is very crucial. You know what? Once someone has told me, like, when you have a total points of 15 or close to that, 13 or 12, anything below that, anything above that on the board is a middle game. So I can see a lot of pieces here. 16 points, right? Not considering the pawn. So yeah, there's still a lot of play here. But I would still consider moves like king f1, making sure the king is out, coming towards the center. Moves like f3 is possible. But Gukesh is slowly pressing here. Gukesh is pressing. Computers don't think he's pressing, but from a real game point of view, I feel he is pressing. And there goes king f1. Ding knows this. Ding knows what's he doing. Like, he knows there's no entry here, but still, king f1 has, like, makes some sense. So I think the most natural move for Gukesh is rook d8. I think he would have calculated this for sure, like putting both the rooks on this file. And now it's interesting to see what Ding has been thinking here. So this is a very, very interesting game, guys. I see some Ding fans here, actually. Which is good, actually, which is nice. He's a nice guy. Ding is a very nice person. Uh, he's just happy he's a world champion. I don't know. He's a very soft person, and but his chess was not so soft yesterday. It was very sharp yesterday. But yeah, nonetheless, guys. So I think this is what we are seeing at the moment. King to f1 has been played. It is move number 16. Gukesh is burning some of his time today. He's on what do you say, 56 minutes, and Ding is at 129. I think it's reverse stuff this time. Yesterday it was Ding burning a lot of time. Gukesh was having a lot of his time, but today it's completely the reverse situation here. But nonetheless, let's see where this takes us, or let's see where this whole thing goes. And if you guys have any questions here, anything you want to ask me about this position or the games that is happening, feel free, guys. I know a lot of you have been watching this for a long time here with me. That is great. And I hope we keep watching this. And we could also take a break together after a few more moves, just seeing where the game is going. But as of now, this is very interesting. I don't think we are at a point that we should take a break because, as I mentioned, both Ding and Gukesh, they're really pushing it out. And Gukesh has really, really calculated very well in this game. Ding is very well prepared here. His time shows it. But Gukesh says, I'm also equally prepared. And here goes g6. So g6, maybe one step. I don't know why. It might be just to improve the king. King to g7. And slowly improve the position, maybe. Move the knight. Try for an f5 break at some point. Because if you look at here, guys, what is happening is that a lot of Ding's pieces, right? They're kind of on the other side of the board. So Ding has to be doing something here. If not, this is a lonely place here. Look at this. It's just black pieces over here. And something like f5 at some point, if it happens, move the knight, f5. All of a sudden, all of the black pieces could be just coming in together. And that's not really interesting to have, right? So g6, that could be the plan. He would love to improve the position with king g7, improving the position of the king. And yeah, that is what I feel is what Gukesh is thinking about right now. So some of the most common options here, guys, is rook a b1. So it might be to create some play here with b5 or b4 some point, but I don't think b4 is that great immediately because it just breaks this whole structure. So we will see that if that works. Another one is just to go back rook d1. I think going back rook d1, isn't it just like a sign of giving back? So if Ding moves this rook anywhere, I think it's just a sign of like accepting the fact that rook c1, there was no plan behind it. There was absolutely no plan that was working behind it. So I don't think he's gonna go back there. So rook dc1. So rook a b1 is a possibility here, or something like f3 could happen. But I would love to see how Ding continues this because, as I told you guys, you're gonna learn a lot of things about chess from this game because it's all about pawn structures, pawn breaks, how do you attack here, or how do you maneuver your pieces. Ding has a knight on e1, and the computers you can see here likes white. So they don't like the player who has a knight on d4. So that means chess is complicated. So that's what I'm saying. And also, guys, if you're thinking why is Ding not improving this knight here, that is literally not possible because of the tactics that knight takes c2. Right? It's either knight takes c2 or even knight takes b3. Both the tactics work if you ask me. You can take this here or take this here because when you take back, rook takes d3. And that's a simple pawn up with a great advantage. You don't want to give that to Gukesh. So let's go back here. Let's see what Ding comes up here with after g6. g6 would have been something Ding was not expecting, maybe. I don't know. He would have been expecting rook a d8, rook f d8 and rook h4. Knight h5 followed by knight f4. These might be the moves that he was expecting, but definitely not g6. But if he was expecting g6, good for him. Good for Ding. Ding actually doesn't give any expressions out. He doesn't actually give or let you understand what is happening, does he? Absolutely no. He just doesn't want to let you know what is happening. He's like, let's play. Let's see what happens. Isn't it? So that's quite an interesting stuff there, guys. Like he's a very cool guy. He's got like Ding the only time I've seen Ding showing some emotions was last year, like the World Championship last time when he won against Nepo. He was really upset actually, like or he was just happy or something. He was just sitting there. He might be not able to believe that he was a world champion, right? It's a big thing. It's not something very easy to achieve. So yeah. But as of now, Ding Liren is leading this tournament 1-0. The world champion is ahead. And if he can pull a point more, like if he can win one more game here, guys, that is very hard. That will turn life to be very hard for Gukesh to make those comebacks. But I don't think Gukesh has any plans to give him that one more point. I think Gukesh, that early loss yesterday has really like shaken him up. It's just told him to wake up. And now he knows what is happening. He's like, I really woke up right now. I see what has just happened. So that is what's happening. Let us see how things goes now. Let's see how Gukesh reacts to Ding's plans. So I would love to see what Ding comes up here with. I want to see how well does he know this position. So this started off as an Italian, and then Ding went into some variations with knight c3 in it. Uh, Quite some interesting moves as we move on to move number 16. Let's see where this game is going. And I know that there are a lot of you guys watching, not a lot of you, but some of you guys are watching. And if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to ask me, okay? We can just take this together. So here we are, guys. Game number 2, World Championship. Ding Liren versus Gukesh. Ding is leading 1-0, and yeah, he is really taking his time. So very interesting position. The position might look very equal, or you might be thinking that okay, this looks good for black because there's a very interesting knight on d4, but it's not the case. There is a lot of complications. There is a lot of interesting ideas here. Uh, this game is far from over. And if you ask me what both players would be thinking, I feel any result would be like good for them unless they're losing. I think they will be happy with two results. The win would be great for either player, especially for Ding. And he would also be okay with the draw in this game because he still keeps the lead going into the next one. So will be Gukesh because he lost a game yesterday and he doesn't want to have a very complicated one today. So rather than that, he would be just happy to go in today with a safe game and just come out all guns blazing tomorrow with the white pieces again. So that is another way these guys would be thinking at the moment. If if that is the way. So a win would be great for both of them. For Gukesh, it would be amazing. Like he would just come back into the game and would be a very happy guy after that. For Ding, you see Ding there, super expressless. I mean, expressionless. But if you give him a win here, he will be a very happy guy. It looks like a like yeah, that's true. The position looks like a draw. Everything is equal, right? Both people have equal pawns, stuff, pieces, two knights, and stuff. It looks very equal. But these kind of positions, there's a lot of things to play. If you take a player like Magnus, these are the kind of positions Magnus just goes into his zone. He just takes down opponents in these kind of positions. So because there is life in this. If you want to create some play here, there is chances. Uh, but as I mentioned earlier, also Magnus is completely a different class apart. Like he's a stunner when it comes to these end games. But uh, other than that, these guys are also top level chess players. One small mistake from the opponent, it's done. Just like what we saw yesterday, Gukesh facing the defeat from Ding. He just made few positional errors. Ding just jumped into that whole C file and just finished stuff off. So, anyways, guys, I hope you are having a good time watching the stream and keep watching this. That's the best thing I can say right now. Keep watching, and I would love to go ahead with this game along with you guys. It is really fun doing this when I have questions. Otherwise, otherwise this is a tough task. You know, I know it. Even if it's just one of you guys, but like I think the chat is everything. The chat is the thing that keeps any live going. I've seen that. Like if it's not for the chat, it's nothing, right? So as they say, it's a big W. It's a big W for the chat, nobody else. Not for Ding, not for Gukesh. It's a big W for you guys for staying here so that I keep going. So thank you so much, guys. Like I really appreciate anyone and everyone that is watching. But coming back to the game, Ding is still thinking. So as you guys can see, Gukesh has been playing pretty quickly after he took a very long time. So this is the point where Gukesh took a long time at this point, where he had to decide to play knight to d4. The moment he played knight d4, then everything was very quick from him. He played knight d4 when he was around 58 minutes, right? And after knight d4, you can see that he has made some moves and he's still at 55. So he has really calculated where he wants this game to go, which is good for him, which is really good for, like, from Gukesh's point of view. But other than that, both players have got this under control. I see a very interesting move here for, what do you say, Ding, that says Rook AB1. So let's think, what does such a move do here? What's the plan behind Rook AB1? Are you planning to play B4 here? It could be, guys. You know why? Because even though I'm destroying my own pawn structure with B4, he takes me, I take him. This pressure on B7 is something he needs to deal with, right? How does he deal with that? For example, let's make a random move. So can you guys tell me a random move here? King G7 maybe, right? Can I play B4 here? It's kind of dubious because if he takes it, Rook takes B4. What am I trying to make sense here is that this is weak, but there is pressure here too. He could try B6, and then I think like something like this could happen. It's a very interesting position when it comes to pawn structure. C5 happens, but definitely you should never be excited to play with such pawns. This is an isolated pawn. This is isolated, doubled isolated pawn. So I don't know. But in that sense, Rook a B1 is not a very easy move then. So for Ding, even though you can see here that Ding's position is all good and fine, finding some logical moves is not easy here. Like, there is no easy moves for Ding. While for Gukesh, things looks much more easier. For him, it's like King G7 maybe, maneuver your knight this way, get the next rook to D8. His moves are easy to think, guys. Like, it's very logical to come up. But for Ding, I don't know. I don't know how easy it is. And maybe that is why Ding is taking time here. He's down to 1 hour 16 minutes. But yeah, let's see. Let's see if he makes it. So, you know what, guys? I think this is a point where I should also get some water to drink and stuff. So, you guys keep watching. You guys keep watching. I'm back in a few minutes. And we are going to see what Ding Liren comes up here with. Because it's not easy to play here as Ding. Black's moves are very easy to find, while Ding has to find some crazy ideas. And I hope he does. So you guys keep watching. I'm back in a few minutes, or maybe more, but I'm back very soon. So you stay right here.
feel free. And I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. Yeah, I just wanna be a freak. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success. Hey, y'all will see. Yeah, you will see that I will get it. Cause I'm really focused, man. I make it with the rap and I just follow my path. I just follow my passion. To me, this is what's precious. Yeah, in my soul, man, I can feel it. So every single verse, man, I just gotta go and kill it, man. I gotta be the kid. I could be the guy taking you wild. I could be the villain, but good as a kid. Lately, I'm painting my path on my way. Yeah, I got no time that I can waste. So I've been sitting in the space. Yeah, making runs every day, man. You know that I go insane. Yeah, I hit you with a bullet to the brain. Let us stop first, cause we going insane. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know what is next. And I'm loving the fact, truly it's making me blessed. Cause I work on my team, no snakes in the grass. And we have a twist in the wind because of the work that we did in the past. Because of the work that we did in the past. When we went to hours, you barely got breath. So I get the realm and we didn't finesse. So I got the feelings that we might be next. Cause when we go in, we win in the match. Yeah. When we go in, we win in the match. So that's how we do, cause we be the best. We be the best, best. Yeah, we be the best. Whoa. Yeah, we be the best, best. We be the best. Hey. Yeah, we be the best, best. Hey, we be the best. Yo, you wanna come a test? Whoa, you want to see we the best? Hey, you don't see that we're the best kid, so I suggest you never really come and test it. But otherwise, I will smack your face like Michael Jordan does with a ball in the basket. Oh damn kid, but you
Okay, guys, so we are back and we have a move on the board by Liren. So I think I just need to reduce a bit of audio here. Yep, there you go. And this thing needs to go. And I need to come up, right? So anyways, guys, Ding has played Rook to D1. This looks fun because it is a plan, of course. Like, the plan is very simple. He wants to go Rook D2 here and double up on this file. That's a straightforward plan. So here, Gukesh makes a very easy move, Rook to D8, because Gukesh wants his rooks to be on this file too. So both are challenging each other here, but at the moment, I feel Rook D2, Rook A D1 makes sense. Otherwise, F3. Just go with the move F3, get your king F2, get your king up the board, and don't lose this, by the way. But yeah, I still feel this knight on E1 is a bit stuck on E1. Even though it's defending C2, it's kind of like passive there, right? From a normal point of view, I wouldn't want my knight to be sitting on the last rank. I would want a knight like this that Gukesh has in the center of the board. That's where knights belong. So that makes it a bit difficult, or it's a bit annoying for white. But I feel Ding is still feeling it. He can still bring the best out in this position. But we will have to see that. We will have to see how does he bring the best out of him from this position. So King F2, King E3, definitely a plan that Ding might be thinking about after F3 here. So he hasn't made a move. I'm pretty sure he is still comfortable with the time advantage that he has. He has 1 hour 5 minutes. Gukesh has 51. The time advantage is getting, like, what do you say? The gap is closing. It's really closing. So we will see what happens in that case. And I hope my sound is good. Like, I hope you guys can hear me well. Uh, so if anybody is watching, you can just let me know that. I'm just a bit confused at times, like I'm just like, is my sound actually going through here? So anyways, guys, talking about the moves, Rook Rook FD8, very logical. And I think at some point, right, if you play Rook D2 here, guys, the problem here could be that this knight could retreat. This knight could actually go back if he wants, right? Just putting pressure here, because you can't play this right now. Why can't you go here? That was your plan, right? No, because you take. Oops, sorry. First of all, you lose a free rook. How can you do that? I'm saying if you take and then when the opponent takes, all these problems have been solved. A5 still remains a bit soft here, and this knight will return back here one day. So this position remains absolutely equal. So rook d2, definitely a move that Ding has to be thinking about, or he has to be thinking about f3 followed by king f2 and activating the king that way. So two options that he definitely has in this situation. But this game's far from over. One slight mistake and it could backfire for both players. So don't count this game out, guys. Don't think that okay, this is better for this is equal or something like that. There can be points in these kind of games where it completely opens up or the position totally cracks open, and would be that would be the decisive moment of this game. So let's let's watch if there is a decisive moment like that here today, and if Ding, Liren, or Gukesh could actually break through each other's defense and take home the point. That would be a big point here. And two back-to-back games with a result. That's the World Championship we want to see, right? But quite interesting. I feel as of now, still the guys are like they know the zone, like especially Ding and stuff. They know what they're playing. They've seen these positions in the preparations. Some were their seconds. They've talked about this. They've seen this for sure. And yeah, I really like Gukesh's chances here because of the practicality of his position. Like just looking at such a position or playing such a position, it is good. It is just easy to play, to make the moves. Like if you take each other's ways, Ding has to make more precise moves, I feel, rather than Gukesh. I'm not saying Gukesh can just make some random moves and get away with it. No, that is not happening, but he needs to be a bit more precise. That's all. Like, that's the only thing you need to be care. Ding needs to be a bit more precise. So, yeah, looks interesting. And as I was saying, guys, the W is for you. The W is actually for the chat. The chat is everything, right? Otherwise, me watching this for hours is not easy. I think I should add some of my like friends and people and just make a lot of people sit together and watch the World Championship. That is quite interesting to do. But as we wait for Ding to make a move here, I think he might be planning with. Okay, there you go, guys. F3 is on the board. Ding has made F3 here, and his plan is very straightforward. I think he's thinking about King F2 here. It has to be King F2. But now I'm quite interested to see what Gukesh would be thinking. Is he planning this F5 break? That's a big question. If so, how? How is he planning it? Is he planning to go knight H5 here? Is this part of his plan and then try to break F5? Or is he planning to go knight to F4 and then maybe to E6? Is this part of his plan? Or whether is he just gonna retreat knight to E8 and G7, maybe F5, something like this up his sleeve? We have to watch and see. I also feel a move like after F3, something like King G7 also just makes sense, right? You're just improving your king because Ding is gonna improve his king with King F2 at some point, and position even though it looks equal, I feel one small error and can be going either way. So don't count this game out, guys. This is definitely not over. This game is still long way to go here. And I really appreciate these guys for playing some very interesting stuff. But yeah, I think the past 2 days, rather than the audience and the fans watching some random draws happening, everybody has been treated to some exciting chess, if you ask me. Game one was super exciting, but Ding just made sure he's not losing grip of that. And today he's back with the white pieces, but Gukesh has put him under thought process here. He's under some pressure here, maybe. Yeah. But both players are feeling the heat. I see a lot of people out there who would want to see Ding prevail again. There's a lot of people out there who wants to see Gukesh come back and make this even. I don't know what you guys want to see. Uh, you can let me know that chat. That what do you want to see? You want to see Gukesh make a comeback, or do you want to see Ding actually taking it ahead? I was just looking at the chat. So here we go, guys. Rook to d8 is played. F3 has been played. Waiting for Gukesh to make his move, and I think he has made the move. King g7. That's interesting. Gukesh has heard us. He just played King g7 here. Even though, like, still the computers don't prefer that as the best move, guys. Like, why did even I feel King g7 is possible? It's because I felt it's just improving your position, right? You need your king to be improved in the position. Like, if you're seeing ahead into the end games, you have to be looking how the king can be improved here. So that is the reason why King g7 was exciting or interesting to look at. But for a long time, Rook a b1 has been an option. Like, but I really don't feel that Ding is gonna go for it. I don't know. Is Rook d2 an option here? Is Ding planning to double up the rooks here? This could be a much more viable or a much more straightforward option. This is what Gukesh might be thinking. He might want to go with his knight to f4. Let's see this one. What if Ding doubles here? And if Ding doubles here comes a knight in. Look at these two guys here. Don't be what do you say, deceived by this bar on the left, guys. Even though that looks equal, this is very hard to play with two knights sitting in the center of the board like this against you. I'm not saying at this level it's super hard for them to find what is the best move, but sometimes you just miss it. Sometimes you just miss an out of nowhere tactics, which the knights are known for, right? So just letting you know. I know this is not like a very low elo chess that we are watching. This is the world championship, and these guys have got this covered. But I think Rook d2 is a very, very straightforward plan here. Ding wouldn't be having much of an issue thinking about this. So he needs to find a move here, though. He has King g7 has been played. Now he needs to find a plan to go ahead with. So big decision to make, guys. Like, what do you think? Is this game going towards a win for Gukesh, win for Ding, or do you think this would end up in a draw? Big game, actually, big game. When if you're comparing this to the scenario of the tournament, this is really big. What happens here is really gonna decide what is going to be happening in this game. So let's keep watching. Let's see what these guys have got for us. So black has played King g7 here. Ding has some options to improve his pieces. It could be Rook d2, put the next Rook to d1, try to challenge the open d file. That's where all the action is happening. That's the place to go for these guys right now. But let's see some exciting chess coming our way here today. So it's Ding Liren. The world champion has finally come down below 1 hour on the clock. Gukesh is at 46. One thing Gukesh really doesn't want to happen in this game, guys, is go down to time trouble again. But I think he's managed it. Is it move 18 here? He has 20 more or 22 more moves to make. But I think he has time to make that, right? Like, there is time for that. But that will be something he would have talked about yesterday. Going low on time where he really went down to Ding. So, yeah, that's something we need to be thinking about. So I don't know what you guys are thinking about right now. Like, the plans are simple here. Ding might be most probably thinking about Rook d2 here, doubling the rooks here. and some crazy trades happening. And I think this is easy for black to play. He can even go back here, challenging this, putting here. And Ding could also go in here now, knight d5. This is an exciting thing to play, with his knight in the center of the board. And what is a bit concerning here for Gukesh, guys, is that Ding is good at these kind of stuff. Um, I don't know about his recent form, but we are very sure it hasn't bothered him as we see his yesterday's game, right? So these kind of slow grinding games, Ding is okay. He can hold on to it. You can't expect a huge blunder out of him from this. Like I have also seen, like I think you guys would have also seen Ding losing a game recently with Magnus, where he missed a mate in one. But that was not similar situations, right? So yeah, I think Ding will hold on to this. I'm not completely supporting that he's gonna win this or something, but he can hold on. Like he's a world champion. He's a world chess champion, so he has to hold on to this. So, but Rook d2 and Rook d1, right? This has to be the straightforward plan. We'll see what he comes up with. I think that's exactly what he's calculating. Or there could be something else too. I don't know. Another way is Rook b1, but I don't see what Rook b1 really does here. It could be very deep here, but there might be some plans and stuff. I would love to know that, right? And we will get to know that. We will get to see who is gonna come out of this game today on top. And game 2 is going very interesting. So what are the positions that you guys like to watch? Like, do you guys like strategic chess positions, positional, like where there's a lot of maneuverings happening, or do you like attacking chess, like how Gary Kasparov used to deal his games with? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure attacking chess is exciting, but there is a lot of stuff you guys can learn from these kind of games. Where pieces needs to be going, what are the good squares to put your pieces, what is all about improving your pieces one by one. And it's just very important to know that. So yeah, king to g7 being played. Everybody, the whole world, I guess, is watching to see what Gukesh comes up here with. So let's see, guys. It's White to play, Ding Liren to play. He's using his time. And something good for Gukesh and people cheering for Gukesh is that the time difference is closing in. Ding is down to 55 minutes. And now I think he's on his own now. I think he's lost control of the, what do you say, uh, his prep. He's out of the prep and everything. Now he's completely playing this position on his own. He's trying to figure out his own ideas right here, trying to crack what needs to be done here. And so far, so good for him. Nothing's gone bad. But these are the kind of positions where one bad move and you are history, right? So and you don't want to make such a move against Gukesh too. So he will hop onto it and he's not leaving you back after that. So definitely not something you want to fall into. But let's see where this is going, guys. Very crucial moments of this game, where the game is gonna be decided, like where the whole face of this game is going. So Gukesh might be a bit more relaxed at the moment. He has his plans clear. He has shown what he wants to be doing. He's been improving all his pieces. The two rooks are there on the open d file, like ready to get in at some point. Black's knight on d4 is an exciting piece to have when you're playing a game of chess. And Ding is still not bad. Like if you take the analysis, if you go with the engines, the computers, they like Ding's position. But long way to go. Long way to go from here. So let's see what comes up our way next. Is it going to be rook d2 followed by rook a d1? Or is Ding going to play something different? I'm not very sure if Ding is going to play rook d2. Because if it was rook d2, guys, he would have played it quite earlier, right? Why is he thinking so much for that? What is bothering him that he's not going immediately rook d2? And you can't understand anything from what... Look at his expressions. He's just like... He's been the same from game one. So you can't crack Ding like that. You need to crack him on the board. But yeah, rook d2, rook a d1. That seems to be the most straightforward plan here. Rook king f2 maybe? Is that what Ding is thinking? Is he really thinking about this plan maybe? Advance the king? Could be, right? But still again, maybe Gukesh's plans are more easy. Knight h5 followed by knight f4 here. You might think that I'll play g3 and stop it. You could, but then this f5. Look at the space Gukesh has. He's gaining space with all of this, right? And slowly Ding's pieces could start like suffocating here, like not able to do something. So yeah, still it's not over. It's still much fine for clearly fine for Ding. Nothing to worry for Ding Liren supporters. But pretty interesting. We will be seeing some fun chess here. So king to g2, g7, the final move being played. Ding is really burning his time now. He's ready to burn his time. Like he's down to 50 minutes here, close to down to 50 minutes, which is concerning actually if you're Ding, because there is something that has caught his mind, because he was close to an hour or so, and he's really spending his time here. Maybe he knows that this is the critical moment of the game. There are a lot of these critical moments in the game, guys, that you need to use, or you need to spend your time there. And that's what Ding is doing. He's just spending his time. And I'm also sure that you guys are very clear why this knight of Ding's is not improving. Why is it sitting on e1? If you're thinking about it, it's not able to improve here, because if you improve it, there is tactics coming right at you, knight c2. That's the problem. That's why his knight is sitting on e1. It is knight takes c2 and you can't do anything. You just lose a pawn here directly. Earlier, this was, the rook was here. Even then, this was not possible. Because for example, guys, like let's imagine you go knight d3 or knight d3 and there is something supporting this, right? Even at this point, knight takes b3 is a problem. You take rook takes d3 and you're losing a lot of stuff. But of course, knight d2 is not, knight d3 is not even possible because c2 is really hanging here. So I think to make all of this better, rook d2 could be an option. That's why rook d2 seems very much logical here. But yeah, let's see what Ding comes up with. I think he has done a great job in using these critical moments. Even in yesterday's game, uh, he has taken his time when it was most required, and then he has went on to convert it, right? So king g7 is the last move played here. Gukesh might be much relieved here because the time gap has closed. It's 46 for Gukesh and 50 for Ding, and that is not a difference that will bother Gukesh much. But of course, Ding is taking his time here. He is getting ready for this final showdown in the final phase of this game, because we are down to 2 hour plus into the game, and both these players have spent quite an amount of energy into this, and they still need a lot of energy going ahead with this. But Gukesh seems to have held this game together when it comes to preparations, and he seems to be on the path of having a good game here. But super excited to see what Ding Liren is planning here. What is that has made the world champion take his time? What is that move that he is considering here? Because these next few moves, guys, they're really important. Like that's where this whole game is going to be taken too. So this is the crucial point. This is the critical moment of this game. But we need to see what happens in these moments. Ding coming with the confidence of winning the last game. Gukesh might be coming in with that, what do you say, motivated to fight back and take the point back. The game is equally balanced at the moment. Nobody seems to be having a bigger, like a huge advantage. But that could change any moment. Just like in the last day's game, few moves here and there, and Ding was all over Gukesh. So the same thing could happen here today. So let's see. Let's see if something interesting comes up this way. And in the meantime, you guys can ask me anything you want to ask me about this game, that you feel about this game, that you feel could happen in this game, anything. Just feel free. As I told you, the chat, the W is for the chat. Otherwise, this is not happening because I won't be like, it will be very hard, isn't it? Hey Kushagra, I hope you're doing great. I was just talking about the chat, and I'm happy to see someone in the chat because it's fun, right, guys? Like it's not, it's always nice to like read it out what you guys want to talk about, and then we watch ahead together. But yeah, King F2, guys. King F2 has been played on the board. That was definitely a plan too, right? King F2, Rook D2 was one idea, King F2 is another idea. But maybe Ding got inspired by the fact that Gukesh went King G7, improved his king. Ding is like, you improve your king, I improve my king. I play King to F2. My live stream, oh, it was yesterday, man. Like, the first game where Ding won the first game, right? So that's when I started streaming. And as I said to all you guys, right, by the end of this World Championship, either I'm gonna like continue streaming and do great, or that's the end. Yeah, we one of us is gonna learn streaming at the end of this, and I hope it's me. Yeah, same. Yeah, me. Like the first live stream was yesterday. I never live streamed before that. So, anyways, King F2 being played, guys. Let's see what happens here. King F2. The plan is simple. Like he might just want to improve his king here, but the plan for Gukesh, as we were talking about earlier, also is very easy to understand. He is just planning to improve his knight here. Knight h5, knight f4. Pretty easy, right? And he might also be thinking about these breaks on the f file. You know what? There are some of these model games that I've seen where these kind of maneuvers happen, the break happens, and all of a sudden the rooks shift file here and then takes and just opens up the file on the f file. It might sound, yeah, nice to get a chance to talk like this. I'm already a whole lot of, oh, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Like, it's great. I thought I was anyways watching these games, right? So I thought this is a great time to like talk to you guys, and it would be a lot of fun, right? And I hope you guys also enjoy this, and all of us get something out of this, right? So as I was saying, guys, like knight h5, knight f4, followed by f5, break open the f file, kind of somewhere maybe. I'm just being very optimistic and very imaginative there, but yeah. So that is definitely a plan, right? So yeah, let's see if that actually happens. Posting? No. I just like I'll do everything, right? It's just that I kind of like to do a lot of stuff in chess, so yeah, like streaming could be an interesting stuff. You know why? Because like it is hard. It is very hard if you ask me, but creating content is also hard in another way. You need to edit your stuff, you need to shoot it. Everything has got its own ups and downs. So while streaming, at least I could be like happy that it's done. When I'm talking to you, this is the content, right? That's it. So, but anyways, coming back to the game, guys. King f2, as I told you, Ding just wants to improve the position of his king. Knight h5, very interesting option to come to g4. So if he comes knight h5, guys, a very normal looking move would be g3, right? I don't want a knight to be coming here. But then the problem is f5. You see that? he might anytime open this up, this position. For example, like, can I play a move like king e3 here? No, I can't, because you see this. He takes it. If I try to take with this knight, then all these kind of problems here. It's tactics, because he wants to remove this knight from here, because then your rooks are loose on this file. You see, knight c2 happens, and all of a sudden, you can't take it, because rook takes d1 is coming. So the plan of f5 here is that, guys, he wants to go f5, and he plans to open this file up. You have to take with the pawn, because the moment you take with the knight, what is happening here? Oops, why is arrows like this? Yeah, what is happening here is your knight loses connection to the rooks. So the rooks are left alone, and these rooks just want that to happen. And this discovered attack plans will come into play there. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that could be the plan here. So I don't know. Looking interesting for Gukesh after king f2. Knight f5, f5 is a fun line that we could be seeing here. I think that is something we would be interested to look at. I don't know what you guys think about it, but it seems nah, Kushagra. I like the one label, you know, just to be unknown for the rest of your life. Just kidding. Like, I don't think it just makes a big difference, you know. So just like that. So as I was saying, guys, knight h5, f5, quite interesting. Like, I would really love to see that happening on the board. But let's see. It's been around 2 hour plus here. We have been watching this, and some tough game, guys. Really tough game. But as I was saying, there is a lot of things you learn from these kind of games. Actually, we think that these games are boring and there's nothing to understand. This is just pieces moving here and there. But that is why you're feeling it's boring, because it's hard. It's hard to understand that, right? So I'm just kidding. But Gukesh didn't want knight h5. That is interesting. He wants h5. Maybe his plan is to go h4 and just fix, like, cramp these pawn structures. Maybe yesterday's game, you guys would have seen, maybe you guys would have actually seen Ding Liren going a5, a4 on the other side. a5, a4 being played to cramp the pawn structure. So just like that, something like h5, h4 could be a plan. Maybe what Gukesh thought is h5, h4, followed by knight h5, knight here. That could be his plan. That might be the reason he plays it. So for Ding, I think the next move is very straightforward. He can just directly go with the move h4. That seems very fair enough for him. Like, nothing much to think about, or don't get himself complicated. Just go h4. He's just gonna stop all plays on this side. But I think somewhere has Gukesh missed the chance to maneuver this and just create that issues with f5. I don't know. Maybe he does have more plans with it. We will see that. But as of now, things are fine for Ding if he's just gonna go with the move h4. And Gukesh has just managed his time very well after that. He's on 40 minutes now, you guys can see here. While Ding is at 46 minutes, still up in time. Like some to match up against you in future, US. Yeah, of course, yeah. We'll do some of those stuff going ahead, right? It will be very interesting. To play and have fun, because the results, just like here, unlike the world championship, when we play, it doesn't matter. So but here right now the results do matter, and round 2 is very, very important here, because round 1 has gone in Ding's favor. If one more game goes decisive, then it's a hard way back. 2 games down is not easy for Gukesh to make a comeback, but if Gukesh makes a win here, that puts this whole tournament wide open. And he's going tomorrow with the white pieces again at Ding. So and he knows the French is coming, right? So that would again be very, very exciting, guys. And and yeah, I would love to see this. I'm really looking forward to a result in this game. That would excite me, because I feel a good result here in this game could really crack this tournament open. But so far it's been equal. Both players haven't shown great weaknesses, not good chances, but lot of cool stuff positionally, strategic wise. Lot of interesting things that you see on the board here. h5 by Gukesh. He might be planning h4 followed by knight h5, coming in with the knight. But yeah, not yet though. And yeah, let's see how things goes here. some of the crucial moments in these games, you know. And again, guys, like I think I asked this yesterday too. Like, what devices do you guys watch these games on? Because I think most of you might watch on your smartphones, or do you really watch it on your laptops, or do you watch it on the TV systems that you have at home, or where do you actually watch these games? I'm just curious, you know, I'm just super curious. That's just see it like that. Just consider this to be like that. So I'm just curious to know. But anyways, coming back, uh, H5 on the board, guys. Ding is thinking. Time gap is closing down. It's almost close to 40 to 40, like 44 for Ding, but still, like he is really, really thinking here. Look good for white to counter rook battery if white could cover the c2 pawn in that. Uh, no, it's actually true. Like Kushagra, like the c2 weakness is actually a problem. There's a lot of tactics here. Like whenever you're like trying to support this and going with knight to d3, there's always this knight c2 move. And even if you take it, this rook takes d3 thing happens, right? So that knight coming to d3 is like black is not letting that happen because that knight is very well placed on d3. So what is one of black's main ideas? Not to let that happen, because if that knight comfortably comes on d3, it puts pressure. But I think that's something this knight on d4 is not letting happen. Like you go here, boom, knight takes c2. Even if you play something, okay, you see that? So Ding just played a move that I'm a bit surprised about actually. I can understand that this knight is really annoying, but knight e2, isn't that a bit passive? Like, look at these guys now. I don't know. I don't know where this is going now. Because all of a sudden, you can also see the engines, right? They think that, okay, Ding, you have just given Gukesh a small chance. You have let him like have a very small chance here. And that's not something that you give to a guy who is, what do you say, hungry for coming back or hungry for a point to get back into this game. You don't give such a chance to him. So let's see. Knight e2 being played on the board. Very interesting situation. So this is a crucial moment in this game. As I mentioned earlier, guys, the next few moves, they're just so important. They're just very important here. So it's white, like black to play here, Ding to play. I mean Gukesh to play here. Gukesh would be relieved to see that move, like knight going back. He's really focused. You can see how focused is Gukesh. I'm on a phone right now because I'm usually, yeah, right, true. Like that's actually one more reason why I felt like putting the live like this was good, because I feel people who are using their phone or this, right, they just use it like this right now, so it's just easy for them, right? Uh, yeah, true. To see it in a bigger, yeah, exactly. True. I was just checking, you know, I'm just very curious to know that. But anyways, let's get back to the game. I'm very sure someone else who would be happy about the position right now is Gukesh. He's trying to calculate everything out. He would be seeing his way out of this. So what do you think, chat? Like, do you really feel Gukesh can make this? Like, do you think he can turn the tables after the loss yesterday? Is he gonna come back and level this game? That's gonna be a big blow to Ding if he loses with the black pieces today. If Gukesh makes that comeback right now, that is a major comeback in this tournament. And as I told you, there has been history. There has been historic times when comebacks have been made. Uh, okay, so Gukesh goes back here. He goes back with knight to c6. I thought knight e6 was an option though, keeping it a bit more flexible. But okay, knight e6 makes if like it is looking at the a5 pawn too. Looks interesting. I don't know. Are we gonna see a repetition of moves, guys? Are we gonna see knight c3 here? Are we just gonna see knight c3, knight d4, knight e2, knight c6, and are we gonna see the shake of hands right now? Yeah. No, Kushagra, like it's all just like that, you know. I actually don't have a good answer for that, maybe. But yeah. But anyways, as I was saying, right? Uh, it's just that I don't have a like a clear cut answer for that. If not, I would definitely let you know, you know. But as I was saying, knight coming back to c6, isn't it? Uh, what do you guys think? I think this could still go down to be a draw. You know, like it could still go down like knight c3. Ding would be okay to take the draw here, maybe. Do you think he's gonna repeat the moves here, guys? Are we gonna see repetition with knight c3 here? Is this gonna really happen here again? I don't know, but at the same time, there Gukesh could Gukesh might just not repeat here. He might be like, I will take this. You can't take me here. That's a blunder. You know why? Because we trade. You take, and we take this a5 pawn. And he's up a. Oops, sorry. And he's up a pawn here. So that is something interesting, right? So knight coming to c3. So that's a nice trick by Gukesh. He might make Ding actually feel like, oh, let's repeat and shake hands, Ding. No, he's not shaking hands. You don't play this anymore. This is not a good plan. Rook takes, what do you say? Rook takes d1 is coming up. So that is something interesting here. My bad that I thought that this could actually go equal. So, but still, I'm not saying this is completely better for Gukesh or something. Uh, they can remember, why do they go off theory? Um, so because now at the moment, Kushagra, like if you ask me, the engines everybody has access to it, right? So the preparation wise, they just want to take opponents out of positions that are less researched about, because they know that if you go for all the top moves, for example, here, if Ding went for the proper Italian here, Gukesh is ready for that today. So Ding wanted something, or maybe um, Ding wanted something else, or you take yesterday's game, e4. Ding went for the French defense because they want to go to territories which requires more of human intuitions and calculations. Uh, so to an extent, I think the engines can help you, but after that I think it's more about your intuitions that plays the big deal. Yeah, it is like someone like Magnus, it could be very hard to play for people. That is why everybody, I've seen a lot of players struggle with Magnus, because he can really take you down after your prep too. He can take you out of your prep and then just take you out of the game. Right? But anyways, coming back to the position here, I think going back knight c3 might not be of a great option here. Ding is really thinking about what to do here, and the time you can see there, guys, it's closing in 37 to 39. This looks interesting. This is really gonna be interesting how this game goes through. Even though there is drawish chances, this might look equal. I'm pretty sure you guys would have got so much out of this game. The way they both maneuvered the pieces, how each other brought the pieces into the game. And here comes Ding is coming back with knight c3. He's back with knight c3. So is he offering Gukesh a draw? Is he asking Gukesh like, do you want to repeat and let's shake hands here? Is that the offer? Are we going to see this uh game over? Okay, yeah. So I will get to that. So just about the position again. Best chance for Gukesh right now would be to go trade the rooks and play it out. But at the same time, I don't know if Gukesh would just go back and Ding would just repeat here. I'm just very curious to know that. Like, would Ding just be happy with the draw here? Which which, as I said, which makes sense for both players, right? Ding coming out of a victory, he would be happy to keep his lead. While if you take what Gukesh would be thinking, he would be like, okay to have a draw after the loss yesterday. And he's coming back tomorrow with the white pieces. So that could be his logic behind the draw. Uh, so yeah, let's see where this goes now. Are we gonna see a repetition right now or not? So yeah, your question of how Preg beat Nakamura is so young. It's not about I think in chess it's mostly not about the age factor. It's more about experience. Like how experienced are you? How many different positions have you seen or pattern recognitions? Or how many tournaments over the board have you played? I know Nakamura would have played tons of more than Preg, but after a certain point, once you hit that peak level of experience, then it's how you use the things that you know over the board. It's just that on a particular day, it would be just Prag winning or Hikaru winning, or it could go either way. It's not that someone is going to win continuously. So, yeah. So, coming back here, guys, knight c3, the move has been repeated by Ding. I am pretty curious to see if this game is going towards a draw because Gukesh can also repeat with knight d4, and I think Ding is going to offer him that draw with knight to e2. I don't see Ding being super excited. Oh, there we go. Knight d4 on the board. We are going towards, and here comes knight e2, guys. We are going to see the draw happening very soon, I guess. Knight c6, and that's it. Knight c3. The players have decided to call it a day. That was really surprising. I thought this position had lots more to offer. Nothing more to offer. The only thing to offer here is a draw. And this game is finished. We are done in two few hours here today. Very surprising, isn't it? Yesterday they used it all up. Ding took the point, and today it's a draw. As I told earlier, it does make a lot of sense because Gukesh is going to come in tomorrow with the white pieces. He wants to do that. That's what he wants to play. And Ding is just happy to keep the lead. He has won a game with black, so he's okay to play the game with black. So it's a win-win situation for both of them, and a very interesting finish to this. The draw will be agreed, and it has been agreed. The game has finished in a draw. So quite a very interesting game here. I think the guys are analyzing something very interestingly there. I don't know. But very fun game to see, like how they maneuvered the pieces and what everything happened here. So yeah, Ding has some questions for Gukesh. Finally, Ding has some doubts here. But nonetheless, it's 1.5 points for Ding and half points for Gukesh. The world champion leads the world championship with a point that he scored yesterday in game number 1, and it ends in a draw. So that's been a good day. So if we just go back to the game, guys, like just a quick review of this game: e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. It was the Italian. d3, knight f6, knight c3. The knights came out, and here he played the move a6. And it is a different version of the Gyoko piano. Italian 4 knights. a4 was played, d6, castling, h6, simple prophylaxis stuff. Prophylaxis, sorry. Bishop e3, and then it was just what you guys saw: trades, trades, b3. This was a fun position here where all the pieces looked absolutely like symmetrical, right? Except for the pawns. So both players traded rooks. They tried a bit, like both of them had some plans here, but I think after h5, knight e2, the draw was just straightforward. There was nothing happening here. So a very straightforward draw. Both of them didn't want to push each other too much, but I'm very sure we are in for some exciting game tomorrow. You guys will have fun. So would I. And really great to have you guys here watching the stream, and I hope that we will catch up for the next one too. So I think according to the result, it's an equal result for both players. There's nothing special for Ding here, nothing special for Gukesh. Both of them have got a good result today. Gukesh can recover from the loss he had yesterday. Ding can be happy with the win he had yesterday. They can walk into tomorrow's game, which is very important maybe before the rest day. I think after 3 games, we have a rest day. Or after 4. Need to check that. But that would be a crucial game. So I think after 4 maybe, when both players play white and black. So Gukesh coming in tomorrow with the white pieces. He knows the French is what Ding Liren has in store. So this will be exciting, guys. Let's see what will happen tomorrow. And until then, all of you take care. It was great today catching up. And let's catch up for the next one tomorrow, same time. Until then, you take care. I'll see you guys.
I'm just the fuel, baby, you're the lighter. If I'm not